Gemini. Before you continue watching, I want you to take a deep breath, because what I'm about to say isn't a generic prophecy, and it isn't something you've heard somewhere else. This is a gentle warning that God is whispering into your intuition, a warning about something very small, something that seems harmless, but is spreading like invisible ripples through your life. Maybe you've already felt it. A slight shift in energy, a story you accidentally mentioned, a decision you've delayed, or a moment when you thought, no one will notice this. But Gemini, sometimes it's the smallest things that open the door to the biggest disruptions. You've always been intelligent, quick-witted, and flexible in your words and actions, but because of that, others also easily misunderstand you, easily attach stories to you that don't belong to you. And now, something you thought you had left behind is being exaggerated, scrutinized, and turned into something much bigger than it truly is. Don't panic. Don't rush to blame yourself. The universe isn't doing this to break you, it's guiding you toward a stronger and more honest version of yourself. If you're sensing this energy, if you feel that something around a recent situation doesn't feel quite right, stay here. What comes next might be the missing piece you've been searching for. And before we continue, gently leave a like, subscribe if you want to walk with these messages made especially for Gemini, and try commenting a positive affirmation like, I am ready for God's warning, to confirm for yourself that you're ready to look deeper into this situation. Now, pour yourself a warm cup of tea or your favorite coffee and sit down comfortably. We're about to step into a journey that is honest, gentle, but very real, like two friends talking about a secret that only a Gemini would truly understand. Part 1. A small sign is turning into a big misunderstanding. Gemini, sit down for a moment, slow down a little, and let me tell you this with the softness you deserve to hear. There are moments in life when we do absolutely nothing wrong, yet we still get pulled into complications we never intended to create. And for you, that moment is right now. It all began with something very small, a comment you made while you were happy, relaxed, letting your mind float lightly the way a true Gemini does. Or maybe it was a promise you made just to ease someone's mind. You never thought they would cling to it like a serious commitment. It could also be a decision you made when intuition moved faster than logic, and you thought, no one will notice. It's nothing. But here is what you didn't expect. Someone, somewhere, did notice. And they noticed a lot. The current energy of the universe makes everything unusually sensitive. Your light-hearted words are no longer being heard in the way you intended. Things you said casually are making someone think far too deeply. The natural ambiguity in your communication, something Gemini often sees as flexibility, is now being interpreted with meanings you never meant. A joke you made might be seen as an attack. A temporary promise might be taken as a heavy obligation. A choice you made just to breathe easier in that moment suddenly becomes the reason someone doubts you. You know, Gemini, you are not wrong. You are not bad. You are not someone who deserves to be misunderstood. You're simply being a very real Gemini. Sharp, quick, skilled at using your words to adjust the energy of a situation, and always hoping to keep things light. But precisely when you want things to remain light, others look at you through a completely different lens. To them, your flexibility sometimes looks like lack of clarity. Your softness sometimes looks like avoidance. Your adaptability. And here is what you need to know most. Someone is watching you more closely than you think. Someone is trying to piece together fragments, but they're piecing them together wrong. Someone is waiting for a tiny sign to blow it up into something big. Someone might be uncomfortable with your freedom, your quick mind, or your shine. and they're looking for a reason to define you in a way that suits them. God is sending Gemini a very clear warning. This is the moment to be cautious with every word, every step, every decision, because the collective around you is extremely sensitive. What you consider small, others see as big. Not because you're wrong, but because your energy is brighter than usual. And when the light intensifies, it unintentionally exposes the cracks in others. People who are insecure, unstable, or already carrying fear become easily triggered by the very freedom you embody. Gemini, if you felt that something is off, if you sense someone is paying too much attention, if you feel a silent tension in the air that isn't your imagination, it is the very first signal that a small thing is at risk of being pushed far beyond its true nature, and you are standing right at the doorway of that shift. If this part makes you see yourself in it, if your heart tightens a little, hearing these words, gently leave a like on the video, and remember to subscribe so you don't miss the next messages God is sending specifically for Gemini. And to confirm your energy in this moment, try commenting a simple phrase: I choose clarity over confusion. Now, take another sip of your tea, or hold your coffee cup a little closer. We still have so much to talk about, and the journey between us is only just beginning. Part 2. Reflective energy. Who is exaggerating? Gemini. Gemini. Now, we need to talk about something more delicate, more complex, and far more thought-provoking. The person causing everything to become messy is not you. It's the person looking at you through a distorted lens. There's a truth that sensitive souls like you often forget. Not everyone is generous enough to tolerate your light. Not everyone is strong enough to stand next to the flexible, intelligent, sharp, unpredictable energy of a Gemini. And that's why sometimes you only need to breathe, and someone is already bothered. Let me explain. Slowly, clearly, so you can see the whole picture. Some people cannot handle the way you always know more than they think you know. You speak intelligently, yet gently. You observe quickly without needing to show it. You pick up the rhythm of situations one step ahead of them, sometimes two. You shift the energy of a room with your natural fluidity without even trying. This doesn't make you better than them. It just makes you different. But for certain people, different means threatening. And so, their hidden competitiveness, silent comparison, and buried insecurity start to rise. They find you too hard to understand. They find you too free. They feel you don't fit the mold they're comfortable with. And when they can't grasp you, they try to label you with stories they can understand. A casual comment from you, they interpret as intention. A moment you change your mind, they see as dishonesty. A hazy promise they inflate into betrayal. A moment of your silence, they assume you're hiding something huge. Gemini. You may not know this, but someone is watching you more closely than they appear. So closely that they're collecting every tiny detail in your life, not because they care, but because they're suspicious. Not because they love you, but because they want to understand you in order to control you. And you need to hear this from God. What they are amplifying will not harm you. It will return to reflect on them. Because the current energy is like a sacred mirror. Whoever talks too much about you is exposing their own emotions. Whoever scrutinizes you is afraid of being scrutinized themselves. Whoever twists your story is trying to hide their own truth. Whoever inflates your small flaws is carrying a deep insecurity they don't want to face. Do you know what's interesting, Gemini? In 90% of cases, the person exaggerating you doesn't actually hate you. They fear you. They fear your intelligence. They fear your sharpness. They fear your ability to see through the surface. They fear the freedom inside your mind, the kind of freedom they will never have. They won't say it. They won't admit it. But they are triggered by you. You become the mirror. And when a person feels their weakness exposed, what do they usually do? They attack. They exaggerate. They twist stories. They interpret everything from a perspective that makes them feel more right than you. But what they don't know is, God has already seen every thought in their heart. The universe has already recorded their actions, intentions, and envy. You don't need to fight. You don't need to defend yourself. You don't need to argue, because their exaggeration will eventually fall back and destroy itself without you lifting a finger. Gemini, pay a little attention. Do you feel someone's eyes following you? Do you notice someone reacting too strongly to things you didn't mean at all? Do you sense someone being overly sensitive to every word you say? If you're nodding while hearing this, it's a sign that you're facing an amplifier, someone whose soul is projecting their insecurity onto you. Now, I want to ask you this. Has anyone ever done that to you? Someone who turned a tiny thing into a big problem, making you misunderstood when you did nothing wrong? If yes, write a simple sentence in the comments. I've seen this energy. No details needed. Just acknowledgement so you can release the heaviness sitting inside you. And remember to leave a like. Subscribe to the channel to continue this journey. God is guiding Gemini through right now, because what's coming next in part 3 will touch a deeper fear, a truth that even you sometimes hesitate to face. Take a deep breath. We're about to step into the core energy of the story. Part 3. Gemini's hidden fear. Avoiding responsibility and ambiguity. Gemini. Now that we've reached this point, I need you to be truly calm and honest with yourself for a moment. Not to blame yourself, not to judge yourself, but so you can finally see something you've been avoiding for a long time. Something you may have never said out loud, not even to yourself. You are not malicious. You are not trying to create trouble. You are not trying to hurt anyone. But you do carry a very specific habit of Gemini. A habit formed since your younger years. And even though you know it brings complications, you still struggle to stop it. It is the habit of saying things to ease the moment and promising things just to settle the situation. Gemini, you're an air sign. You think fast. You feel fast. You absorb information from all directions. And because of that, you have a very unique ability. Your words often appear before your emotions have time to catch up, meaning you respond with words before you fully feel the consequences of those words. When someone is sad, you say what they want to hear, so they calm down. When someone expects something, you nod, so they feel reassured. When you want to avoid conflict, you say something to smooth things over, because you can't stand heavy energy. When you want to keep the peace, you become a little vague, so everyone can breathe easier. In your heart, this is your way of healing. But in other people's eyes, it sometimes looks like a lack of clarity. And this is what makes you most misunderstood. You say what they want to hear, but you don't always follow through on what you said. Not because you're deceptive, but because your mind changes quickly. Your energy moves quickly. Your priorities shift according to intuition. Your emotions change with the atmosphere, with someone's tone, with the energy of the room. You think, let me make them happy first. I'll figure it out later. Righto. Righto, men. But that, figure it out later, becomes the exact thing others cling to, and one day, you're labeled as unreliable, unclear, or inconsistent. Gemini. Have you realized that you often use flexibility to avoid feeling trapped? You fear saying yes because you fear losing freedom. You fear saying no because you fear disappointing others. You fear saying anything concrete because you fear responsibility. So you speak halfway. You leave things unfinished. You stay vague. And you don't even realize that these ambiguous words become question marks others carry in their hearts. And the longer they stay, the bigger they grow. You see these things as temporary, delayed, I'll handle it later. But to others, temporary sounds like avoiding. Later sounds like dishonest. Another time sounds like not willing to commit. This makes you appear two-faced, even though deep down you're just trying to protect harmony and your own freedom. Gemini, it's time for you to hear the warning God is sending you. The ambiguity you're using to protect yourself is the same energy creating the chain of misunderstandings you're not aware of. God isn't blaming you. He isn't judging you. He doesn't see you as a bad person. On the contrary, He understands your heart, the heart that always wants things to be peaceful, the heart that wants everyone to feel okay, the heart that fears disappointing people so much that you'd rather hurt yourself than speak directly. But this over-gentleness of yours is pulling you into a cycle. You speak lightly, people expect. You change your mind, people feel let down. You stay silent, people get suspicious. You escape the pressure, people say you're dishonest. And eventually, all those misunderstandings form a weight that leaves you overwhelmed, confused, and asking, what did I do wrong? The truth is, your only mistake is not speaking your truth in the way your heart actually wants to. You use ambiguity to avoid hurting others, but that ambiguity ends up hurting you first. And Gemini, if you're watching this, I know you understand exactly what I'm saying. I know you've sighed after conversations where you said things just to get through, only to face the consequences the next day. I know you've wondered why you're so often misunderstood, even though you had no bad intentions. I know you've felt labeled with something you don't deserve. Gemini, if you see yourself in these words, let me know you're listening. Gently write in the comments, yes, I've felt this. I've felt this. It's not just acknowledgement, it's a small act of releasing the weight in your heart. And if this part resonates with you, leave a like and subscribe to continue the healing and awakening journey opening for Gemini at this moment. Now, take a deep breath, because part 4, what's about to erupt and why it's approaching, will bring you to a truth you've been avoiding for a very long time. Part 4, the coming detonation point. The truth will reveal Gemini. Gemini, now that we're here, I want you to take a slow, deep breath, because this part is no longer about vague signals. This is the detonation point, the moment the universe has been preparing for you for a long time, and whether you want it or not, it's coming closer every single day. Not to destroy you, not to make you collapse, but to bring the truth into the light, the truth you've unconsciously avoided, the truth you always told yourself you'd handle tomorrow, the truth you hoped would disappear with time. But Gemini, some things don't fade. They wait for the right moment to erupt, and that moment is now. Let me tell you the first thing. 1. 2 people you've kept separate for a long time are about to talk to each other. Gemini, have you noticed how good you are at keeping each relationship in its own private world? You speak to this person one way and speak to another person in a different way, not because you want to deceive anyone, but because you feel the energy of each person and want to harmonize with them in the best way possible. But when 2 different energies meet, they will compare, they will connect information, they will match the things you've told each of them. And that comparison is like 2 puzzle pieces suddenly clicking together, revealing an image you never intended to create. 2. One promise layered over another is about to be brought back up. Do you remember that promise, Gemini? The one you made just to reassure someone, the one you thought no one would recall, the one you believed was not serious, but meant something very important to someone else. Then came another promise, then another statement, then another change of mind. These pieces have been quietly stacking, and now They're reaching a point where people start noticing your inconsistency. And when the old promise returns, you'll have to face yourself. 3. Someone has been collecting information, and they are about to question you directly. You think you're good at shifting and dodging? Yes, you truly are. But this time, you're about to face someone with either very high intuition or a very clear agenda. They have been observing you. They've been reviewing every detail. They've been stitching together everything you've said. They're not rushing. They're not emotional. They're waiting for the exact moment to ask you a question you cannot avoid. A simple question. But it hits your weakest spot. 4. Gemini's duality is being illuminated by the current astrological energy. Gemini, your energy is always branching, always open, always moving. That's your gift, but also the lifelong conflict you carry. And at this time, the planets are aligned in a way that reveals your hidden sides more clearly than ever. The flexible side and the hesitant side, the gentle side and the ambiguous side, the honest side and the avoidant side, the intelligent side and the side that refuses responsibility. Not because you're bad, but because this is the moment the universe uses light to expose the parts you've kept in the shadows for too long. 5. God is sending you a very clear warning. There is no space left for Gemini to run. This is the moment when truth steps in. Gemini, let me say this softly. You've been running for a long time. You've been avoiding very skillfully. You've used your intelligence to slip out of uncomfortable situations more times than you can count. But this time, you cannot run. Not because you're trapped, but because God wants you to be free. Free from wrong expectations. Free from your own ambiguity. Free from stories others created about you. Free from the fear of confrontation. Truth does not come to hurt you. Truth comes to liberate you. Gemini, when everything comes to light, you'll feel lighter, not heavier, because truth is always simpler than you imagine. You only fear it because you've never actually looked at it directly. And when everything is laid on the table, many of the things you worry about won't be frightening anymore. The only thing that's truly frightening is the fear inside your own mind. Gemini, if you're feeling this energy, if you know exactly what is about to unfold in your life, leave a comment. I choose truth. Not for me to read, but for your own soul to acknowledge that you are ready for the next step. And before we move into part 5, the most decisive part, remember to leave a like and subscribe. Not for the video, but so you don't miss the messages God is sending you at the exact moment you need them. Take one more deep breath, Gemini. We're about to step into the most important part, the true exit that belongs to you. Part 5. The only exit, radical honesty. Gemini, if you've reached this part, it means your soul has gathered enough courage to look at the truth, even if it slows your breath, even if it tightens your heart, even if it forces you to face the things you usually avoid. And what I'm about to say here is the key, the only path that can pull you out of the spiral of misunderstandings, drama, and exaggerated stories others are trying to place on you. It is radical honesty. Not ordinary truth, not selective truth, not half-truths, but truth from the heart. The truth you've never dared to speak, because you fear hurting someone. You fear losing harmony. You fear losing your soft image. But Gemini, a truth you avoid today will become a giant wave tomorrow. And you can already feel that wave, you know it's coming. 1. Instead of hoping others figure it out, you must speak clearly. You have a very innocent belief, one many Geminis share. People will understand what I mean. But no, Gemini, not everyone thinks as fast as you. Not everyone can read your tone. Not everyone knows which of your words are jokes and which are serious. The more you expect them to figure it out, the more they misunderstand. And the first thing you must do is speak clearly. No ambiguity, no dancing around the topic, no shifting the responsibility of reading your intention onto others. 2. Stop using vague words to escape pressure. Gemini, you often use vague phrases to slip out of uncomfortable moments. Let me think about it. Maybe. We'll see. Yeah, probably. All of those are ways you escape the pressure of making a decision. But these very phrases are the root of misunderstandings. You aren't trying to deceive anyone, you're just trying to breathe. But your vagueness becomes fertile soil for false stories to grow. And God is reminding you, if you continue being vague, you will live inside stories others create about you. 3. Take responsibility. If you made a vague promise, what makes you more special than you think is this: you can heal others simply by being honest. Gemini, remember this. Say, I'm sorry, I wasn't clear back then. Say, I promised too quickly, and I want to correct that. Say, I wasn't trying to deceive you. I just didn't want to hurt you. These words don't make you weak. They make you mature, trustworthy, and real. 4. Explain with sincerity, not with intelligence. You're very intelligent, and sometimes you use that intelligence to steer the conversation, to avoid being questioned, to shield yourself from discomfort. But this time, you don't need intelligence. You need sincerity. No circular reasoning, no wordplay, no trying to win the conversation. Speak from your heart, not your mind. Because the mind creates walls, but the heart creates connection. 5. God says to you, I will not let anyone harm you, as long as you stand on the side of truth. Gemini, you are being protected. Right now, in this exact moment you're watching this, a circle of energy surrounds you. The universe doesn't want you dragged into poisonous stories. God doesn't want anyone building false narratives about you, but He asks for one thing. You must choose truth. No pretending, no hiding, no avoiding. Because when you choose truth, every rumor falls, every drama dissolves, every person who exaggerates you will reveal their true self. You only need to stand with the truth, and God will handle the rest. 6. When Gemini tells the truth, scandal dissolves, the exaggerator exposes themselves. Do you believe this, Gemini? Sometimes all it takes is one sincere sentence from you, and everything stops. Drama ends. Misunderstandings fade. The person exaggerating you loses their material and exposes themselves. The wrong people fall away. The right people stay. And you will live freer, lighter, and more aligned with your true nature. Gemini, if this part feels like it lifted some weight off your heart, comment, I choose truth. It's not just a phrase. It's an energetic declaration for your future. And remember to leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss the next video, where I'll talk about how to rebuild trust after misunderstandings and restore Gemini's soul image. Take another deep breath. You've reached the end of this journey, and a new chapter is gently opening in front of you. Dear Gemini, if you've stayed with me until this final moment, it reveals something incredibly important. You are truly ready to change, ready to grow, and ready to face the things you used to avoid. Throughout this video, you may have recognized familiar pieces of your own energy, the vague promises, the light-hearted words, the emotions you tried to hide because you didn't want to hurt anyone. But what matters more than anything is this: you were brave enough to look at them, to name them, and to prepare yourself for a more mature chapter of life. The universe never gives you a test you cannot overcome. God never reveals the truth to break you. He does it to free you. And the biggest lesson you can carry after this video is, put truth before fear. Put clarity before temporary comfort. Put growth before the need to please everyone. Because when you choose truth, Even when it's difficult, you are choosing yourself. You're choosing freedom. You're choosing a life not controlled by misunderstandings or stories others create about you. And that is exactly what allows Gemini to grow into their strongest form. Starting today, try practicing one simple thing that can change your entire path. Speak the truth the moment you feel hesitation in your heart. Speak clearly the moment you feel yourself wanting to be vague. Speak from your heart, not from fear. That is the path that frees you from every scandal, every misunderstanding, every distorted perception. If this video touched you or helped you see something important in your life, leave a like, so I know you'd like more healing messages like this. And write a simple affirmation below to release your energy today. I stand with my truth. Subscribe so you don't miss the next video, especially the one coming soon about how Gemini can rebuild trust after misunderstandings and step into a new chapter with clearer, purer energy. Thank you for giving your time, your heart, and your trust to receive this message. I'll see you in the next video, where we'll continue the healing and awakening journey the universe is guiding you through.